What is up, guys? My name is Sebastian from doinksports.com, and today I'm going to be doing an introductory video on how to research props on Doink. I want to make very clear this is not financial advice whatsoever, and this does not guarantee any type of winning strategy. This is simply a video on what type of things you want to start looking out for as you develop your own research strategy on Doink. So as an example, we're going to look at the Knicks versus the Raptors tonight, and we're going to look at Jalen Brunson in the point guard spot. And so just an overview of how breakdowns work on Doink. On the left side, you have your offensive breakdowns, and that is what has this player done in the past against their current lines. And then on the right side, we have the defense breakdown, which is what has this defense allowed from players in the same position in the past against the original player's current lines. So I know that was pretty tricky, but once you get used to it, it's really powerful because we have the offensive breakdown, the defensive breakdown, all evaluated against the player's current lines. And so it's that plus the hit rates and averages. There's so many different avenues for you to develop your own interesting research strategy that works for you. And that's why Doink is so powerful. Anyways, so diving into Jalen Brunson's lines and stats. Generally speaking, what we're looking for is alignment on the left and the right side, meaning overwhelmingly green on both the right and the left side, meaning maybe the over looks interesting, or overwhelmingly red on the right and the left side, which indicates that maybe the under is something that's interesting to look at. So at first glance, I'm not really seeing anything that's super interesting. I kind of like to look at the hit rates because it's a quick assessment of how this player has done against their current lines. And the only one that's kind of exciting is this 3-point here at 7 out of 10. Looking at the defense side, however, the past point guards against the Raptors defense when it comes to 2.5 3-pointers have only hit that 5 out of the last 10 times, so definitely worth noting. However, most of those hits have come recently, which might indicate a recent injury or just generally recent weakness on the Raptors defense when it comes to point guard 3-pointers. Anyways, there's a million more things to check before we sign off this as a good bet. Let's check Jalen Brunson's history against the Raptors. Okay, hit rate of 5 out of 10 for 3-pointers. Let's look at Jalen Brunson on the road. Hit rate of 5 out of 10. Not that exciting. But, some of these games are worth looking at. He only tried 4 times this game, only tried 2 times this game, only tried 3 times this game. So, not a super strong trend, but definitely some things to consider. Looking at the Raptors at home, same interesting trend with the recent weakness. Definitely going to pay more attention to that. One thing to always check is the injuries, especially for basketball. When a player is on or off the court, it can make a huge difference on every player on the court and the team and how the game turns out, to be honest. So let's check the players that are currently injured. One thing that I'm always going to want to check is, Towns. He's an influential player and can have a huge influence on everybody else. So because he's day-to-day, I'm going to look at how Jalen Brunson does with Towns out. And he does okay, I guess. One thing that really changed was the points. So when Towns is out, Jalen Brunson seems to score a lot of points, going over his current line of 26.5, 8 out of the last 10 times, with an average of 36.4 points. Wow, that's a lot. There's a million other things to check here. I'm not going to check them all in this video, but one thing I always want to check is making sure that I'm looking at the correct minutes. Because Jalen Brunson plays a lot, and he averages 39.3 minutes per game in the last 10 games on the road with Towns out. So I want to make sure that I'm looking at point guard stats for when they've played a similar amount. Because, if you play longer in a game, you have more opportunities to score, undoubtedly. So let's just kind of look at past point guards who've played more than 35 minutes to make sure that we give a fair assessment of the defense. And same trend, interesting, with the recent weakness against point guard 3-pointers. Just for the sake of the video, guys, I'm going to consider that a good bet. Jalen Brunson over 2.5 points. Again, this is by no means a winning strategy and by no means financial advice. This was simply intended to show you what kind of things you want to look out for when starting to develop your own research strategy on Doink. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to my bet slip. So Jalen Brunson, over 2.5 3-pointers, DraftKings minus 115. And you can see it was added to my bet slip here so that I can take that later if I want to. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Join our Discord community where you can chat with us and other members of the community all the time, and follow us on Twitter for updates and videos and things like that. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.